set the scene. I'm 10 years old. Me and my brother are playing Indiana Jones. My brother is Indiana Jones, and I am Short Round. I am pretending I'm a 12-year-old Chinese kid who knows karate, running around, throwing ghost kicks, reverse punching, and no idea what I'm doing. And my stepmom is watching us play, and she's like, I think Dan wants to do Kung Fu or karate or whatever, martial arts. She didn't know what Kung Fu was. I want to do Kung Fu. So finally we found a Kung Fu school, and it was crazy. It was a traditional Kung Fu school. We'll just throw that out there. It had an acupuncture clinic in the front. It was in a converted auto body shop. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, so I learned, Tai Chi national champion, Sando national champion, Eagle Claw national champion, Broadsword national champion. I learned under all these guys, and that was my foundational style or styles. As I was growing up, I was exposed to all that and competitive and all those things. My last coach, who I was really close with, between the time I was like 16 and 18, he was from Sichuan province national team, yeah, and he was a national champion in forms. And I was becoming more and more competitive and taking things more seriously just because I was getting older. And so we had a connection, and we were real tight. And then he ended up leaving, and then when he left, they brought some new guys in from Shandong province who were good guys. They were fine. Not maybe his level, but it didn't really matter. They were from a completely different place, teaching a completely different thing. And I wasn't making the connection with them, and I just knew that it was going to be like I was starting all over. And I just kind of fell out of love with the rinse and repeat of every 2 years I have a new coach or multiple coaches. And so yeah, so I kind of went out into the world, and that was when I was about 18 years old.
No, whatever.
Go to college, no Kung Fu. Took a couple college courses on martial arts or in martial arts. The college I went to, state school, had some martial arts classes they offered, which were silly. But I was like, cool, I'm going to college, I'm going to take a martial arts class. But yeah, so that was cool. I didn't stick with any of those styles, though. That was just kind of, I was in college. I was just kind of exploring life. And dropped out, started working in bars and nightclubs, and I met Sam. You. And that was a strange one. I was working at this one club that was like the busiest club in San Francisco at the time. We'd have like 300 to 400 people in there a night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We had a security detail of 12 very large individuals. And then one night Sam showed up and introduced him. So I was introduced to him from the head of security. He's like, this is my number 2 now. This is Sam. Like, he'll take care of whatever you need. Just, if you need anything, just let him know. And I thought that was pretty impressive, considering that he probably only weighed 175 pounds. And everybody else was, 3 times the size. And he looked very unassuming. And I thought, man, this dude must be a really bad motherfucker if he is the number 2 on this crew. Maybe he's like a military dude or ex-military dude or something, And yeah, so a couple nights go by and we start chatting after we get off. This kind of place, you kind of connect with dudes really quick because it was a real dangerous place. Tons of fights, fight a night for sure, sometimes multiple people involved. 8 to 12 dudes, often bottles, knives. When the fight would go out into the street, guns would be pulled, shots fired. Like, we had, people killed in front of the club. We had, it was a crazy place. So you become comrades pretty quick, comrades in arms. And so after a couple of days, I started talking to him, like, okay, man, like, what's the deal? Like, how are you the number 2 on this crew? You don't look very, yeah, you don't look very scary. And he's like, oh, well, I train martial arts. I'm like, okay, well, a lot of guys train martial arts. Like, what kind of martial arts you train? He's like, oh, I train Chinese martial arts. And I'm like, good talk. Let me see the walk, you know? And so he said, all right. So he did a 7-star bungo. And I was impressed. It was crispy, you know. You could tell he knew he had good intent behind the motion and everything was clean. And I was like, oh, this guy, not only is this guy good at playing forms, but looks like he actually knows what he's doing. And so then he was like, all right, now let me see you do something. You know, what do you do? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. So I did a non-trend set, a Southern Fist set. It was love at first sight. And so then um, we were both kind of fired up and, you know, we liked each other. We both had a similar level of kung fu. In my opinion, Sam's level was a good deal higher than mine, but he was a little older than me, and he had exposure to some really serious seafoods in China. 8 years under various people, and still had a great foundation, but didn't really know what I was looking for. And then met Sam, started training with him, and was like, oh, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Like these are the people I want to surround myself with. Met Sam's teachers. Yeah, this guy is legit. This is the kind of kung fu I want to practice. We went and sought out Arthur. Arthur, very first class. I oddly enough, I asked him. You know, I'm always the crash test on me. I'm always the guy volunteering. I said, "Why? How do you use this move?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I'm glad you asked." He reached up, grabbed me by the hair, ripped me down to the floor, and threw a snap kick at my face. He didn't say punch me. He didn't say, okay,
So they're gonna throw a
yeah.
straight punch or
He didn't
maybe
say
this.
start in a fighting stance, or
An attack.
he didn't take a fighting stance.
You said attack.
He literally just said, "Thanks for asking." Reached up, grabbed me by the hair, ripped me down to the floor, and threw a kick by my face. And I was like, "Whoa!" I thought it was like I do something, you do something. No, that's not the style that he practiced. That's not the kind that my Sifu Arthur is. Uh, American-born Chinese, learning a very different style than my Sifu from Futsan, who has a very different background, grew up completely different, yin and yang for sure. Um, but they share that same um, intention. They train martial arts the same, even though their styles are completely different. They're completely different people with different cultural backgrounds. They're both Chinese, but that's it. I mean, they are completely opposite, come from different opposite places. Northern Shaolin to me, Buxalum, is a long range style with some mid to short range techniques, but very little clinch work and no grappling. And anybody who says it's a complete system, and they're full of shit. Um, I am a direct student of the direct students, and there is no floor grappling, there is no wrestling.
A mat has never come out.
No.
Any of those classes.
It is a punching, kicking style with some joint locks,
Couple trips.
couple trips, but predominantly it is a kickboxing style. It's a great style. It's a good foundational style for someone who has no previous training. It trains good waist power. It trains kicking, flexibility, stance work, all of those things, basics. It has advanced application in a striking area, but that's my breakdown of that style. Chu style Tai Chi Mantis, mid to short range, with a lot of standing grappling, a lot of chin out work, a lot of joint locks, a lot of joint manipulations, um, a lot of street fighting application, meaning um, eye gouges, throat, attacking the throat, attacking the groin, pulling hair, pulling ears, breaking fingers, just what we would predominantly call dirty fighting. That's that style. Certain techniques, it's all a setup style. A lot Chinese martial arts at a high level generally is you're provoking someone, uh, you are setting traps for somebody, and Chu style mantis is like if Buxalum is a great foundational style, Chu style mantis is a master class. It's grad school. The Bak Mei is mid to short range style. Again, high level application. It's definitely a grad school style. If you don't have an understanding in some traditional Chinese martial arts, you're going to struggle in the beginning. It's going to take some time to get used to. It's a very effective style in the sense that it teaches you very straightforward things. It's not like we're practicing tornado kicks and back sweeps.
Nothing higher than a knee kick.
Nothing higher than a knee kick. It's very focused on conditioning for fighting, rock bags, wooden dummy, arm bangs, body hits.
Forms focus last.
Forms focus last. You're running two-man drills and basics, not complicated things. Elbows, solar plexus shots. Um, yeah, you're just training things that will work and that will work directly. And they are high percentage techniques to pull something out of a jiu-jitsu vernacular. Um, the things that just work, that have been done by the guy that's teaching you the thing
in real life.
In real life,
Yeah.
which in kung fu circles is rare. And if we're gonna transition this into that larger conversation, like Sam was saying, what is my ABCs kind of kung fu? How do I train and what do I do? That's what I train. I train things that I know that work.